Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. That's a little, the internet's a little bit shaky. Could be me. And it's
Yeah, there was drilling going outside my literal window on the fire escape, and so I had to find a new place to work. It's always something.
What are they drilling?
They're like doing the fire escape or something, so I guess it's important. But like just today, they started I turned my head and I saw workmen like doing something.
The building I'm living in now has two elevators, and they're fixing the cable on one of the elevators, which is just like a good, thought that someone's actually checking up on the cable, something we take for granted.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
guy was like, I was like, how do you actually check? And he's like, well, you can hear it. You can hear that the cables are fraying.
right. Yeah, good that they're doing it. What was it like before they were doing the work? Yeah, I don't know. Hey,
Right.
um, is do you know if Andrew's able to join today? Totally.
So we should, we should maybe just change the meeting time, but we have a meeting that goes up until 2 and often a little bit later. So he'll hopefully join in a little while. But we'll see.
Okay.
It's this coalition meeting, no free lunch. It's a lot of government accountability, transparency groups, like some project and government oversight, some scientists, government accountability project, open government. So it's once a month, and it's one of those kind of big moments to check in and update everyone. Yeah.
Okay. We can look into that. Um, so do you think we should give him another minute, or should we just dive in?
Uh,
Um, okay. Wait. Sorry, Tully, you dropped off. Should we just start, or?
oh, sorry. Yeah, let me know if my internet's not doing well. Uh, I was just saying we should get started.
Okay, cool. Um, okay. Great. So, I'll just start down the list. And if I miss anything, please chime in and we'll sort of get this process down going forward. But I'll be taking over. I think everyone knows this, maybe Kevin doesn't, sort of leading this meeting off of Rob's place, who seems to be happy because he's dancing. Just to, give him more time to program and less time to do admin stuff. So let's start with team. We'll start with team updates, and I guess I'm up. So I've been doing a bunch of stuff, but I'm sort of doing the rounds of just talking to people. And Kevin, I'll actually be reaching out to you very shortly, just to hopefully you've settled in a little bit to just get conversations going about just background on projects and your ideas, and sort of just so I sort of can get my head wrapped around what everyone's thoughts are. And also, we have a meeting set up now for early next week. Andrew didn't chime in about if the time is good. Do you think like just having Dan Dawson, Dan, Rob, you and I is enough totally? Okay, cool. So I'll confirm that time change. Great. And that's just to Kevin, to fill you in. We have some developer hours from Climate Central, and so we're going to see if Dan can help with the differ. And then also there was a request from Michelle about some budget numbers. So I got an original doc from Toli yesterday that I'm sort of reviewing. I think it was originated by Nick and Rob, just on some expenses like Virginista and some stuff like that. So, Rob, I might be reaching out to you just to get a little more background on that doc, so that we can get Michelle the information she needs for her budgeting questions.
Okay. That reminds me that I need to keep that spreadsheet up to date with all the costs, which I'm not sure that I have.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think what that spreadsheet was missing was like AWS costs. And so I think that spreadsheet just maybe had, or the one that I sent you, Ray, was, had versionings and page freezer. Maybe Rob, you're thinking of another spreadsheet. I'm just not really in the loop on this. So people.
Yeah, so I can send you what I have, Rob, and then we can see if that's the right doc or if there's another doc.
Okay, I think the one I'm thinking of is pinned on the web monitoring cost channel.
Okay.
Oh, maybe not. Never mind.
Okay. That reminds me that I'll have to join the web monitoring costs channel. Lots of channels to join. Cool. Okay. If it's not the one, then let's see. Yeah, so that's the link that I'm looking at, and we can see if it's the same. We can take it offline if we need to, update and make sure we're looking at the current information. Any other questions on the budgeting? Okay, cool.
Oh, that is not the doc, yeah.
Okay. Good to know. So we can take it offline, I guess, then, and we can make sure that we're looking at the same stuff. And if you need help making sure it's up to date, I can help with that too, Rob.
Okay. I think it's more just categorizing the expenses I've paid, so it's just like I need to do it.
Okay. Okay. So you can get cool. Okay, so
oh, it's the channel topic.
It's pretty sneaky.
Cool. Toli, do you want to do the analyst update?
Sure. So not too much to update on. We are finding lots of things to discuss. I think so. There are, I believe, 4 reports now being written, and a few of them that I basically are on me right now to review. And other than that, we are pursuing a slightly more. We've kind of created another form of. It's not really a report; it's a preliminary kind of research doc that we've been sending to journalists. That's basically, this is off the record. We don't know if this is significant, but could you help us determine, make the determination if this is significant? And we've been seeing a lot of these intermediate things, like, for example, statistics that the EPA changed about report greenhouse gas emissions from coal mines used for 2016, but also previous statistics back to 2011 were updated. And so why are you updating numbers going back 5-6 years? It's not clear, and we want to basically start those investigations without reports saying like this happened. So anyway, that's something we're exploring. Otherwise, I don't think there's much else to report. Justin Derry been using. Yeah, Rob, thank you for producing those links to the for those particular URLs and ingesting the Wayback Machine records for the CDC web pages. So he's been using the app to write a report, and we've created like a kind of a normal document with suggestions that I hope he'll kind of relay over to the dev folks. So, you know, it's just kind of some thoughts that he had as he was using the software. I think that's it.
Great, thanks. So let's move to the dev updates. Dan couldn't make it. So Kevin, how's it going?
It's good. I'm just settling in San Diego. Basically, all I'm doing is just trying to catch up right now. Read over some of the pull requests that got merged in and stuff, but just catching up. But good to see everybody. Yeah.
Good to see you back too.
Yeah.
It's always a drag.
Slack bankruptcy.
Yeah. Just hit reset.
Yeah.
Okay. Rob?
So I finished up some of Kevin's work from last week, and I started to work a little bit on the diffs, but I haven't really pushed anything yet. So hopefully I'm going to have some more time to do that today. FYI, there's a failure at Internet Archive. The thing that submits all our stuff to be crawled every day broke on Friday. So I think they're working on fixing that right now. As a side note, I wrote an issue that we probably need to take care of soon, which is write ourselves a dumb little sort of like health check for the IA thing so that we can bug them sooner if it goes down. Really, I hope they would just do that, but they haven't. So, and they are, I guess, working on like a newer thing that should do all of this stuff better. So hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have a talk with DVD over there, the guy who's working on it, about what that is and how we can use it, or whether we need to do anything or whatever. So yeah, I think that's totally.
Well, no, just when you have that conversation, interesting to know the trade-offs that they're considering. And we talked about previously potentially expanding the breadth, but maybe taking snapshots less frequently. So, you know, once every 3 days, whatever, or once a week even. And if that means that maybe that's worth it, just something to consider. I'm just curious to know about.
You're breaking up a little bit, but I'll just say.
Did you get that? My screen froze. Sorry.
So I think I heard you saying that we've talked about, you know, it would be okay to make the trade-off of, instead of crawling every day, crawl every 2 or 3 days, if we can do more pages, or like crawl whole sites, which I have brought up with them a few times. So hopefully that will be included or better supported or whatever in this next set of changes. But when I talk with them about it, I will make sure to keep that in mind. So yeah, that's the status on that. I don't really know. I mean, I brought it up with them a few times. I don't really know where we are with it, because I hesitate to push too hard on it because we're not using any of their data yet, because we've backburnered that behind actually getting diffs working better. So I don't want to bug somebody who's already putting a lot of load on their systems about something we want if we're not even using what they already gave us.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, did you say in I think your GitHub issue that you think we might be able to leverage like some third-party tools like Sentry or something, or is that, were you saying something like Sentry?
For notification.
Yeah.
Right. So like if there's a problem, yes, because we should be using not the data together Sentry, the service called Sentry. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've had a long running ticket on me on basically all of the repos to integrate Sentry.
Okay.
Because right now, like I just monitor the logs, which is stupid and shitty. And when a whole bunch of errors happen at once, the logs email me, but it's not. That's not nearly as good as it could be.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was all. Just like that would be one way to do the alert, is to sort of intentionally throw an error that Sentry will catch.
I see. Okay, got it. That's great. And then actually, quickly, I just wanted to mention in the. Oh, sorry. Did you have more to?
I don't think so.
Okay. Cool. That's great. Thanks. And for the Climate Central talk, I sent him a couple links to the GitHub repos, like particularly the web monitoring processing. I think that's the most important one, right?
That's where all the differ work is, yeah.
Right.
It's also the most confusing to figure out what the hell is going on in it.
Okay. Yeah, so if there's other documentation I should just send him over, please let me know. Or maybe we just use that conversation just to talk it over. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay.
The face I'm making is that there's no great documentation other than the couple docs sitting in the repo, which are not, again, well organized.
So maybe he can review that, and then he'll have questions. If we have any questions, please send them over to me, and I'll email him, and then we can take them from there. Kevin?
I was gonna say for the processing repo, because I noticed a lot of the old folders like Page Freezer and stuff. Like I don't think anybody's trying to actively work on that. Is there any reason why? Is there some way to like archive it to take it out of the repo so people aren't misled by it? Because the only thing that seems to be working is that web monitoring folder. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Okay.
There's just like a whole lot of old stuff floating around in there. And I haven't talked very much with Dan about it, other than I've sort of floated that I feel like we should probably toss it. Like it lives in Git history, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Or we should find it. We should just like create a folder that's just like old crap and put it on there, and get processing a little bit more organized. But I'm not sure if he has other thoughts on that, or if it's just that everything has been a higher priority. I don't actually know, because we haven't had like a serious conversation about it.
Okay. I'm capturing that. Thanks for whoever's also adding to the notes. What I'll do is, it's just easier for me to write than type, so I'll sort of go through and also add anything to add to the notes too. But I can add that to the list of like cleaning up the repo and getting a little more organized on the list of things to do, and try to figure out what the right priority is on that as well. Cool. I think that is enough for the dev update. And so organizing update. Last week, no one was present. Who generally would be under that?
Often Matt or Dawn have been around.
Okay.
I think Matt has been around less since his classes started.
Right.
And Dawn has also had to refocus a little bit on her PhD work, I think.
Right.
So.
Cool. Okay. And I didn't hear from PatCon, so I'm not sure if that's he's part of that, or the Open Collective bit. But why don't we talk about the Internet Archive and page freezer updates?
Okay. I think we should just take the Open Collective stuff off the agenda until such time as Pat is actually like, okay, I will be there and I'll talk about it. Okay. Since we've had it for 2 weeks and he has just not shown up and we've messaged him and he hasn't replied about it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. So, done. Totally. Do you have any Internet Archive or page freezer updates, or was that more Andrew?
I think it's probably more Andrew, but I mean, I'm not sure what there is to update in terms of Internet Archive. Page freezer, as far as I know, there are no developments.
Cool. And I'm still reaching out to try to connect with Andrew, but that's something, page freezer stuff is something I can try to take over to in terms of managing and getting that sort of, moving along. It's sort of not a core, like to me the differ and, version 001 is more important, but it's, something that there is a cost to it and there's data that we want. So, but I know there are some things we're waiting on, like, from Brendan and stuff like that. So I'll just sort of try to keep tabs on it to make sure that, no one's just waiting for us to do something.
There's no update from Brendan or from anyone else working on the work?
I haven't heard anything, but I can, I'll circle back to Brendan on that.
I know Dan got the example data to Brendan, but I don't know if any other work has been done.
Okay.
IA-wise, I think the only updates are what I said in what I've been doing the past week update.
Great. Cool. So milestone status.
I don't think that's changed in any meaningful way. So.
Right. Hopefully we'll start making more progress as Rob's head gets wrapped around to it, and maybe hopefully Dan Dawson will be able to get some support too. I think it sounds like Dan will be a little out of touch in the short term too, because he's probably going to be moving. But hopefully we can sort of get stuff moving again. Okay. Yeah, Kevin?
I saw that Rob pinged one of the Lazy class that he was helping on like a PR for a milestone. So I'm just curious about like, how do we, because we want to stay on track, but then these people aren't so much as committed, I guess. And so how do we balance like whether we should just do it ourselves or wait for them, or like, or do we like have to like make it more explicit, like, hey, we're trying to like stick to a timeline, or like I don't know how to handle that. So I'm just curious, like how to handle that interaction with the outside contributors.
Yeah, it's tough, particularly when they're sort of working on their own time. Sometimes you try to give them a sense of urgency or a sense of just the priorities and timelines before they start, but that doesn't always work. And that, in this particular case that you mentioned, I don't think, it's a little, I'm not sure, like, a lot of it's contextual, I guess, which is sort of a non-answer, unfortunately. I've seen his mentions in the Slack forum and GitHub. Like, is he pretty brand new to the project as a contributor, or is he?
He's done like some good contributions, but like this one in particular, it's been like really lagging. I think like 3 weeks now, and he hasn't submitted anything. So yeah. Just like, well.
Right.
I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. Is he Is that work blocking you though, or?
Well, I mean, it's like it's on a milestone. It's like a particular. It's an issue that's like on the 0.01. So,
Right.
you know,
It's kind of a priority thing.
yeah, it's a nice
Yeah.
one too. Yeah.
Okay. You know, Rob, I guess I'm wondering, do you have an opinion on sort of if we should take it over yet, or maybe reach out to him and saying, if,
Well, that's why I pinged him this morning. My general take on that is like if somebody has volunteered to take it and you sort of handed it to them, you at least give them, if it's an emergency, a few hours if you can spare it. Otherwise, a day or two to sort of reply and be like, still working on almost there, or like still working on don't know, or like, and then you can sort of say, well, okay, like we need to get this done, so I'm just going to take it back and work on it. But thank you, like, say thanks, but like gently, just be like, but we need to get this one done faster. So
And Kevin, is this something that you can work on, or?
Oh yeah, it's totally something I could work on.
Okay.
But I saw Rob ping him, so I was just like, okay. I want to wait, but I'm just curious, like in the future, like when this happens, like how should we handle it? That's because it's like it would be nice. It's been a really long time. Like I said, like 3 weeks or so. That's kind of long with like nothing,
Right.
Yeah,
because
usually I think if I were more on top of it, I'd have done that a week ago. I'd have done it after the weekend that he said he was going to work on it, basically.
Right, because that's when often they're working this stuff too, and it's something like I think where if he hasn't said anything, I have a feeling he hasn't started yet. That'd be my guess. But we can see, because for the ping, maybe it's like, maybe because the other probability is that he's close, but not really can't show anything yet. But he's like thinks he can get, is hopeful he can get to that thing. So he doesn't want to say anything, but we can just So the ping is appropriate to see, like, because if he hasn't started, we should just take it over. But if he has started, maybe this will prod him to finish.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if he says like he hasn't done anything yet, maybe we can just ask him to relinquish it and take it back. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
cool. But it's always a little tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Action items. I have some sort of things to track down. I'll try to contact Andrew about Page Freezer, and then also check back with Brendan on that as well. And then I need to confirm the new time for the climate change or Climate Central call. And then I'll, I think those are sort of like the immediate things. And then again, I'm just doing some larger stuff too. And cleaning up, like I'm looking at that roadmap doc, and I'll try to consolidate that too for some of the bigger picture work. And then Kevin, if we don't hear from about that ping that Rob sent, maybe you can pick up that ticket too. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my mention before Tolly heads out. Can you, Ray and Tolly, both thumbs up or thumbs down that pull request Kevin made a couple weeks ago about adding owners to the repo overview? Because I want to make sure you're cool with it, Tolly, because that's the one. It also lists all the analysts as contributors, so make sure everybody's okay with that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I pulled the analysts from just whatever's on the Edgy website. So because I think that's what somebody said. They're like, if they're okay with being on the Edgy website, I didn't add any like contact information. It's just their names.
I can give you also names of all the alumni analysts as well, who were on the website. So
cool.
Maybe worth keeping alumni listed on the page. So
yes.
Yeah. And I had no problems with it either.
Cool.
Great.
Then Kevin, you should just click the merge button.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks, everyone. If we'll take it from there. All right. Have a good week.
Nice seeing you, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
See you.
Bye.